Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That's better. Welcome to our auction today, and I'll call this property Paradise on Oban, number 88 Oban Road in Ringwood. I'll explain why as we move through. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the auction. On behalf of the team of Stockdale Lego in Ringwood and our vendors, we do wish you all the very best, and we do wish you a Merry Christmas. And I dare say buying a beautiful home like this would be probably the best Christmas present that anybody could probably ever want, particularly at the end of 2020, which we all know has been an unusual year. To help you through the auction today, I've got Stephanie on my left-hand side there, been running the campaign. I've got Debbie on my right and Christine, business principal, on my right, and she's going to be writing up the numbers so that we don't lose track. Of course, my name's Mark and I'm going to be the auctioneer. The auction today will take part in 3 short phases, that's all. We'll peruse the documentation. I'll reinforce the reasons why you should be buying and moving in here. And then the most important part of the day is to put the property into your hands to find that lucky new owner who's going to move in to number 88 Oban Road in the not too distant future. Now today's auction will be held in accordance with the rules and regulations set out in the Sale of Land Act 2014 Schedule 1, together with any other conditions that are made available. The auctioneer cannot accept bids or offers for the property once the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. So the vendors have set a reserve. There are no, you cannot hinder people from bidding. There's rules against hindering people from bidding, and you cannot make false bids. As the auctioneer, I can call bids on behalf of the vendor. If I do so, I'll call them vendor bids. I'll call bids upon request, which is the dollar amount in the bidding sequence. If there's any dispute regarding the bidding, I'll put the property back up again as the last undisputed bid. And also, folks, if we do go to pass the property in today, we will deal exclusively with the person who's holding the highest bid. So 2 really important points I'll reiterate this morning. First and foremost, if you're here to buy today and your hand is last in the air when I go first call, second call, third call, you're the lucky person who's going to be moving into number 88 Oban Road. Once again, if you're here to buy and we pass it in, your hand must be the last one in the air to give you that exclusive opportunity to come inside and sit down and chat with us and the vendor, come to a resolution, and once again move into this lovely property in 30 or 60 days. So as long as you play along those 2 rules, I reckon we're going to be in for a lovely afternoon. The contract of sale have been on display during the entire campaign. Of course, again this morning at the open for inspection. It is in its standard printed form. It's been prepared by the vendor solicitors, and it contains all the necessary special and general conditions which allow today's auction to take place. Now, like any contract, it's got a lot of information in it, but the most pertinent information to us today is the particulars of sale page. And the reason follows that we're the agents of Suite 123 Ringwood Street in Ringwood, are selling on behalf of our vendors the property described as Lot 3 on plan of subdivision 087631, as seen in Certificate of Title Volume 08823 Folio 167, together with any improvements. The chattels to stay with the home, obviously all fixed floor coverings, light fittings, window furnishings, and all fixtures and fittings of a permanent nature as inspected. There's one little space in the particulars of sale that we can't discuss right now. And that's got a dollar sign next to it, and that says the price. But I'm pretty sure in about 20 minutes we're going to be helping that lucky new owner fill in that gap. Settlement time, 30-60 day settlement is preferable. If you're here on your own this afternoon and your partner has let you come and do the bidding and they're down at fabulous East Lands doing all the shopping ready for Christmas, don't panic, their name can be put into the contract at a later date using the nominee clause. Also, if you're here to buy on behalf of the company, there are all the provisions within the documentation to allow that to occur. Now, we are buying at public auction, therefore it's an unconditional sale. There is no cooling off period. Of course, we're calling for a 10% deposit on the signing of all the paperwork. Attached to the contract is the Section 32, otherwise referred to as the vendor statement. Tells us that we do fall under the Maroondah planning scheme. The rates are about $1,882 per annum. Water rates are $420 odd per quarter. We have been zoned general residential Schedule 1. And the land dimensions here, we have a frontage of some 20.1. The rear is 20 metres. My right hand side is 35.6, as is the left hand side, which gives us an overall size of land of some 714 square metres of prime Ringwood land. So a great size allotment of land as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your contract to sale. That is your Section 32 vendor statement. Are there any questions? No, that's good. Best part of the auction when nobody does put their hand up. That's the only time I like no one putting their hand up. Do they have a question? I referred to this when I walked out, ladies and gentlemen, as Paradise on Oban Road, number 88. And I think it's pretty obvious as to why. From the minute you pull up at the front of the homes, you've got that semicircular driveway. which is a bit like driving up to a resort somewhere around the world. You've got those lovely arc driveways, you drive in, you get out, and you walk straight in. And you walk into a beautiful lounge room with an open fire. So in the middle of winter, you sit in that that lounge room with a fire roaring, maybe if you like partial to a nice glass of red or something, you're sitting there just enjoying that lovely warmth. The 5 bedrooms in the house, you can move upstairs, you can have separate accommodation up the back there for the family, and down the back here. If you've got teenagers, perhaps it's great to have them separate from everybody else. That's a really good idea for teenagers. But you've got to complete that separation. Multiple living spaces. Of course, you're downstairs, then you have the upstairs rumpus area, which of an evening you can go and sit outside as well on a warm evening, maybe have a nice cooling drink, whether it's a water or a Chardonnay or a beer or whatever takes your fancy, but it's just sitting there relaxing. And then you come downstairs, you've got the common area where you have the most beautiful kitchen that I've seen in a long time. Stone bench tops, amazing when you walk into it, and it certainly does grab your attention. You wander down to the common area of the family room down here, and then you come outside to this. And I call this paradise. You could be at any resort around the world, and you're sitting on a beautiful decked area under the umbrella, looking out across the fruit trees, the vines, and you can just close your eyes and be anywhere. But we're here in Ringwood. We're here in Ringwood. Beautiful Ringwood. See, that's what I mean. And that's why it's paradise, because at night time, drive home, tough day at work, come out the back here, sit down, close your eyes, and where are you? Somewhere else around the world. And you open your eyes amongst all this beautiful greenery. You've got your barbecues around the corner. And of course, if you are partial to a cleansing ale, you've got that fabulous room downstairs with just the right temperature to keep your reds in order.
That's your favourite room.
That 500 reds, absolutely. There's a bit to go through down there. Obviously the ideal place. Around the back, of course, you've got the shed for that firewood, which goes in that lovely fireplace. Around the side house and underneath, of course, is more storage space. So you don't need to go on holidays, and we know we're restricted obviously at the moment, but you can just pull up home every night. Every night coming home here, it's like coming home to your own private resort. You've got the cooling throughout you've got the cooling through the home, so it's going to be lovely and cool in summer, or sit outside here. Location, it doesn't get much better either. We're about 3 kilometres away from central Ringwood, where we've got Eastland Shopping Centre, Town Square and its eateries, station, the 2 stations, so if you're coming from the city, you've got a choice of lines that come out to Ringwood. A plethora of schools are within a short distance from us as well, from Yarra Valley through to Mullen Road to Norwood, a whole selection of schools that you can choose from, all within a short distance from here. So folks, it's the complete package you have here. It is your complete paradise. You don't need to go on holidays. Sit out here, enjoy what you've got all year round. The only disappointing thing I can say this afternoon, folks, is I've only got one property at number 88 Oban Road. Only one. I wish I had 3 or 4. So I'm pretty sure we have them all sold today. But we only have one. So therefore that means there's only going to be one lucky family who's going to have the opportunity to move in here in 30 or 60 days' time. And this is the time we're about to find out who that's going to be. So ladies and gentlemen, time has come for me to just count the numbers and call out some numbers and leave it up to you to decide what the value of the home is. So folks, without further ado, who'd like to start me off? Where do I see an opening bid? Number 88, Oban Road in Ringwood. Where do we start?
1.1.
$1.1 million. Great start, sir. Thank you very much. $1.1 million. At 1.1, we'll take $20,000 rises from here. At $1.1 million on the left. At $1.1 million. It's a $20,000 rise. That's all we're after at 1.1 million. At 1.1. Silence is golden. It's not unusual for it to be silent. And auctioneers normally sit back and go, okay, this is the time when I've called it out. I've got a great bid to start with, but I go, okay, what next? Where do I go to next? I go, oh, so it's quiet. And all of a sudden we look at people and they go, put their hands in their pocket, they look down and not up at me, they look at their feet to make sure that they've gone and put the matching pair of shoes on. But at $1.1 million, got a fair start, I'm calling for a $20,000 rise. So $1.1 million, as I said at the start, I can take a vendor bid, so I'll take a vendor bid at $20,000. So it's $1,020,000 with me. Sorry, 1.120 with me. $1,120,000, another 20.
Do you take 10? Do you take 10? Do you take 10?
No, I'm in 20s. In 20s. Make it. We'll get there anyway. So make it 20. So I've got $1,120,000. With 40, Steph. I've got $1,020,000. I'm looking for $1,040,000. 1140. 1140. 1,140. Who wants to wait? What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Wait.
Yeah.
What are we waiting for?
Yeah.
Wait for Christmas?
Christmas.
I'm not going to be standing here till Christmas. I promise you. I will not be standing here till Christmas. I promise you. I want to wait. And we get that often. We get that often. It's like, I want to wait. What are we waiting for? The property's been on the market for a month. That's great. So you've all seen it. So I've got 1120. Is it 1140? I've got 1120 is my bid. We're back at 1140.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We're at $1,140,000 now. $1,140,000. The property is here today, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with every intention today to sell the property. So I don't know what we're waiting for. Interest rates are the lowest they've ever been. So we've got $1,140,000 now. Gentleman over here in the number 3 shirt with the paddles at number 88 is holding the bid at $1,140,000. If it makes it any easier, I will take $10,000 rises from here. Just to make it a bit easier. The $1,140,000 on my left-hand side.
Is it a market? No?
Not yet, but we're close. We're close. Now $1,140,000. You didn't just come along for a coffee and to watch us do an auction, surely. Nice if you did, but I'm sure there's more important things you can do than come and watch Stop Down Lego do an auction and have a cup of coffee. Yeah, Christmas. Actually, probably good. The gentlemen are probably really happy they're here today because the ladies are not out doing the shopping, so I can understand what you're waiting for. At $1,140,000, gentleman on my left is holding the bid. I'll call it 3 times. First call, second call, $1,140,000. And ladies and gentlemen, bear with me just a moment. I'll go and refer to our vendor. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. My instructions are really clear from our vendor, very, very clear. So Mark, go back out, put the property back out there, try and get some more bids. But if we get no further bids at this point in time, we're happy to pass the property into the gentleman on our left-hand side. And as I said at the start, he has the first right of acceptance at the vendor's very, very realistic reserve. So if you're here today to secure this property, you now must make a bid to put you in the position where you have that first right of acceptance at the vendor's very, very realistic reserve. Make no mistake, and I'm quite sure if we have to pass the property into this gentleman or anybody, that in about 20 minutes time you'll be jumping up and down with excitement that you've bought a magnificent home in a brilliant location, and we'll be helping you put a sold sign on the board. So now's the time. If you're here to buy the property, place a bid. Give me a $5,000 rise, $10,000 rise. Doesn't matter, just puts you in that preferential position to come inside, sit down, and we can have some negotiations. I will call that 3 times. I can't be any clearer and can't give anybody any better opportunity than what I'm doing right now. So I'll call it 3 times. First call, the $1,140,000. Now is the time. Second call, the $1,140,000. Don't drive past this afternoon and see a sold sign on it and go, that was a brilliant house. You know, we should have done something about it, because it will not be here. It will not be waiting for you after Christmas. $1,140,000. Are you all done, silent, and finished? Then, ladies and gentlemen, we formally pass the property in over here to this gentleman on our left-hand side. We wish you all the very, 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 very best for Christmas. We look forward to a great 2021. and Happy New Year as well. Thank you for your attendance today.
Thank you.